Okay, good evening and welcome to this Leil Hoshana Rabbah special edition of Iyun Mitzion. We're analyzing Maseches Orlah Perek Aleph Mishnah Ches. Mishnah Ches states that besides the actual fruit um, of a fruit-bearing tree, the fruit itself, what about the pits? What about the peels? The orange fruit, the peels in orange. The pits in the middle. Orange have pits in them also. A lot of fruits have pits. Peach. Peaches have pits. Certain grapes have pits in the middle, seeds. So those pits, are they considered Orlah or not? So the Ravad Yevortunu brings a pasuk. Dichsiv es pirio. The Gemara Darsh, there must be a Gemara, I don't know. Es. Why does it say the word es, pirio? Not only the fruits, es means es hatafel lepri. Things which are subordinate to the pri. So when you have an apple, you have seeds in the apple. So the seeds are subordinate to the actual fruit of the apple, the actual part that you would eat. You don't eat the seeds normally. However, it's tafel to it, it's subordinate, so therefore it's included in the Isser of Orlah. And Orlah is also in both Ba'achila and Vahana. Now, you're not going to eat pits. I mean, they're not edible. What the Hana is you could do from certain types of seeds or pits. The Gemara talks about using it as firewood or things like that. So it's Asr Bana, you can't do that. So the Gemara in Psachim, in the beginning of the second parak, talks about in the Torah when it asers bahana. Chametz is one of those things. That's not only aser to eat, but it's also aser bahana. So I'm not going to get into the beginning of that psachim. It's a machlokas, a fundamental machlokas in Ula and Chizki, I think, over there. What the source is, right? When it says achila, how do you know achila includes hana also? Any type of benefit from it. Using it as firewood is a benefit, material benefit you get from it. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe we'll get into Maseches Pesachim, I'll talk about that. But I want to talk about Orlah. There's an Isra Achila. You can't eat the fruit. And you can't get Hana from not just the fruit. This Mishnah tells you also the seeds, the peels, not edible. You can't get Hana. Is Isra Hana, this is the Lamdas over here, is Isra Hana considered to be, because it's part of the fruit, right? We look at the fruit, an apple, the fruit is considered a fruit. So the fruit is combined of the edible parts and inedible parts. The inedible parts are also part of the fruit. So the Torah said there's an Isra Hana on the entire fruit. I think, basically, when it comes to Maseches Brachos, right, when you say a kazayas, right, when you have to eat a kazayas in order to make a bracha achrona. So do we include the garin, the seed of the pit of the olive, or not? I think we do include the size of the pit, because the pit is part of the olive. It's part of the entire fruit. So therefore, every part of that fruit you can't get hana from. So there's an Isra hana, right, from the fruit itself, which is usually going to be through achila, through eating it. Of course, you can use it in other ways. Maybe you can use it to make soap or whatever. And make soap out of apples. I don't know, but and the parts that are inedible, like the peels and the seeds, that would be, you can't use that as firewood for something like that. Is the idea that the whole fruit and the peels and the seed are considered part of the fruit? So everything's Asr Ba'ana, there's a general Isra Hana, or really the Isser by Orlah, we're going to limit this to Orlah, is the Isser is the fruit itself, right? That's the edible part. Torah doesn't want to eat the edible part. Torah wants you to wait till it matures and it tastes good, because the first 3 years don't generally taste that good. That's the reason I explained. So Torah wants you to wait. However, what about the inedible parts of it? So therefore, es hatafel lepirio comes to tell me that this is the way the Mesilas Yesharim formulates it, is that sometimes the Torah asks something as a geder midoraisa, as a siag, that you shouldn't come to violate the other isser. For example, that's his example. Nazir is one of those things. That's exactly what he says. I'm basically echoing on Mesilas Yesharim over here. He says that the reason the Torah asked the Nazir from eating the pits of grapes and the peels of the grapes, even though those things are not really edible, is that you might come to eat the grape itself, or it might come to have wine. And so it's a siyag del raisa. It's a getting the raisa. So maybe I'm suggesting the Isra Hana by Orlah is really a get that you shouldn't come to eat it, right? And that's why we know this Isra by the pit, because it says es pirio, es atafel piri, right? If the idea was that it's all considered one unit, like by a bracha, right? The olive with the pit is one unit, right? You combine it for the shear for the bracha achrona. It's really the same unit, And everything is asr behana, right? The fruit, usually you're going to get hana by eating it, and the pit by using it as firewood. Or do we say no, that the only thing really asr is, or like the really kavanah of the Torah was the fruit itself, right? It doesn't want you to eat fruit that's not properly, doesn't taste as potentially good as it could. Uh, so that's the Isra of the Torah. Why can't you eat the seeds? The seeds are tafel l'pirio. It's not part of the apple. It's tafel. It's subordinate to it. You can't eat that because it's too close. If you're going to eat the seeds, you're going to eat the pits, you might come to actually eat the apple. So it's a siyag d'oraisa. Basically, like Mesilas Yesharim explains. I'm not really saying anything big chiddush over here. I'm just saying Mesilas Yesharim is. I'm applying it to Maseches Orlah over here also. Hope you enjoyed tonight's share. See you in the next one.